it's your girl Lily, and today I'm gonna tell you a story time. I got kicked out of a high school that wasn't even my school to begin with. So when I got kicked out, okay, let's reverse to the very beginning. So I knew this guy, and we're just gonna call him Pop-Tart. So I liked Pop-Tart, and me and Pop-Tart were texting. And one day he said, hey, you know what? You should come visit me at school, like during lunch, and we could talk and everything. And I liked him so much. I was just like, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool just to go to his school. I've never been there before. And so I didn't even have a plan. But once he said, hey, let's just visit and you can meet my friends. And, you know, I was just so excited. I GPSed his location and it was so far. Like, it was all the way in the boonies. But I didn't even think twice about it. I was just like, you know what? I am going to go there. I'm gonna have a fun time. I'm gonna like eat lunch with him, meet his friends. Everything's gonna be okay. Well, so anyway, the next day I'm in class and I call my dad and I'm like, hey, look, we gotta go up to the school for like business reasons. And since I was already in a program during that, like I was in like a entrepreneurship program in school, he was okay with it. He was cool with it. He's like, all right, let's do it. I get a slip to get out of class. So I get out of class and I meet up with my dad. So my dad's friend picked us both up. So she picked us up from my school and I have my GPS on my phone. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're just gonna GPS it. Everything's gonna be all right. My phone started to lose signal as we were heading down to the school, and I had to kind of wing it because I don't know, my phone was just acting weird. But anyway, point is we got there and we're up to the high school. As we go up to the high school, there's like this gate in the front where there's a bunch of cars. Of course it's a school, but I didn't realize like, oh, there's a gate. This is serious. Like, this is really happening. I'm really at the school. I'm really gonna go meet this boy. So this is gonna get crazy. So we drive into the parking lot and we park the car. And my dad's like, oh, well, I'll come with you. And I was just like, Dad, please don't come with me. Like, please don't come with me. And so as I was, you know, he told me he was going to come with me. I was texting him. I was like, where are you at? Is lunch started? Is everything okay? And he was like, oh, yeah, everything's cool. And some other stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm here. But this is where it gets crazy. So we're walking, and as we were trying to, there is a lot of doors to the school. Like, there is a lot of entrance that I don't know how to get into. Like, there's just a lot of ways to get in. So we just decided to go through this one way. And as soon as we were going up to it, this teacher stopped us. And she was like,
are you new? Do I know you?
And I was just like, oh, no. She's like,
are you supposed to be here? Who are you? You don't look familiar.
Like, she was giving us 100 questions. And I was like, this lady, okay. So I was just, and then my dad steps in and he's like, oh, you know, she's a entrepreneurship. She has good grades. Like, he was just throwing in everything. And I was like, Dad, please don't. Like, it made things 100 times worse. So they started arguing and she was
like, well, you guys aren't supposed to be here.
And my dad was like,
well, we're here.
And he just kind of was going back and forth. He's like, well, we're here to meet a teacher. And she looked at me and she's like,
well, what teacher are you going to meet?
And I was like, and she's like,
here for the business. I only have one teacher, mind you.
At my school, and just why do you need 7 to 6 different business teachers in a high school? I don't understand that. So I told her, I was like, oh, I really don't know. And she's like, she was arguing with my dad and they just kept going back and forth. And then finally she was just like, oh, okay, well, there's the office. And she was so rude about it. I was like, okay, I mean, you didn't have to do all that, but all right. So we get into the school and she watches us walk into the office and she's like standing, I can see her in the corner of my eye, she's like standing out watching us walk into the office like we really gonna like run away or something. So we go into the office and I sit down and the secretary lady was like, oh, okay, make a phone call to the business teacher that you need to talk to. And I said, well, I don't really know her name. And during all of this, I'm texting him like, where are you at? Is lunch started? Like, I don't know what's going on. Everything was so crazy. And so I get the phone, and I didn't know
Maybe if you see this paper, you'll recognize the teacher you need to talk to.
And I was like, oh man, I'm not. So this is what I did. I literally called a random teacher that I didn't even know and was like, oh, hey, I have some business questions to ask you. Call me back at this number. It was a fake number. Oh, it wasn't even my number. I was just like, yeah, call me back, dink. And then she was like,
Okay, bye.
I should have just left when all of this went down, but I'm not very smart. So we leave the school, and mind you, the lady is still watching us, but then she walks off. Like, okay, they got in the office, they're not in trouble. So she walks off, the lady my dad argued with. And as we were walking out, I told my dad, I was like, hey dad, look, I know a kid that goes here. He's having lunch right now. Is it cool if I just like see him real quick? And my dad's like, okay, hurry up. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm texting Pop-Tart. I'm like, Pop-Tart, where you at? And I couldn't find him. This school was so big. They had so many buildings. And he was just like, oh, I'm here. I'm like, listen, I don't know where you're at. So you're gonna have to be Pacific. Like, I don't know what's going on. As this is happening, I'm outside of the school. And the kids that are inside the school, like looking at me from the outside, thinks I'm like a terrorist. Because here's why. There was a shooting that happened at that school, like on their window door, there's like gunshot holes and the like cracked glass. It was like insane. I was like, what? Did somebody shoot up the school? Like, that's crazy. I wasn't, so they were watching me go back and forth. Like, I was going around the school and everybody was just kind of looking at me in the inside. And so I finally get in, like I sneak my way inside the school and this security guard stops me. And he's just like, do I know you? What's going on? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was just like, he was like, oh, well, let me show you a way out. He just said, let me show you out of here. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me just go with you. So I'm walking out with him. And yeah, he just gives me this look like, don't try it. Like, you got one more strike. Like, don't try it. And I was like, you know what? Cool. I'm not gonna, do anything. So then I find a way to sneak in again. Mind you, I cannot find him. I'm running all over the school. The third time I snuck in, this kid let me in. And as I got into the school, I was like, where am I at? Like, everybody has shirts and shorts. Like, what's going on? I was in the gym, and there was like a class going on, like a gym class going on. And I was just the awkward one with pants and a sweatshirt, like walking around this place. And everyone's just looking at me like, who is this person? I am scared to death, mind you. I should have just left when I had the chance, like twice, but I didn't. Now the security figured out I was back in the school. So I noticed they're looking for me because I see a few kids leaving the gym class, and then I see like a few security guards pass, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't want to go to jail. I just wanted to see this person. But now that these security guards are looking for me, ding, the bell rings, and everybody's walking around the school. So there's all these kids walking around. There's security guards looking like for me, but I guess one of the security guards seen me and was like, hey, you gotta leave. Like, I don't know why you're still here. Now, I was gonna get in trouble, like, I'm not gonna lie. If my dad wasn't there to, like, defend me, I would have probably gotten, like, a huge amount of trouble, because my dad was in the car. Once I got out with the security guards, he jumped out the car, and he was like, listen, this is my daughter. She did not mean any harm. She was with me. Like, we're good. And they're like, okay, well, you both get in your car and drive back to where you came from. Now, my GPS is not the best. I had an iPhone. Just on this day, nothing was working. So I was texting him. I was like, look, we're gonna leave. I'm going. I'm sorry I couldn't meet up with you. And he's like, no, it's cool. It's, you should probably go. And so as we were leaving, or we were pulling out, where we were at, the cops were following us. Now, mind you, my phone isn't working right. So my dad's friend stops the car. And as she stops the car, he's like, listen, we don't know where we're going. My daughter's phone isn't really working well. And I swear, one of them rolled their eyes like, are they playing with us? Like, they just wasted our time. Like, they were already irritated. Like, I snuck in twice, or, snuck in twice, don't know where we're going. Like, they really wasn't happy with us. One of them drives around our car, and so we just follow that one cop car, and then another one is behind us. Mind you, I had to work that day, so So the school wasn't very, very far, but it was far compared to like you never being there before. And I was just confused. Nobody knew where to go. So the cops helped us out. Then once we got there, they kind of just pulled off and left. Like, we're really sick of them. And well, the security guard just told me like not to come back because, you know, just don't come back. And I was like, cool, I have no other reason to come back. Like, forget the boy. I'm not trying to go to jail. Like, cool, I feel you. I'm not coming back no more. I feel you. We're cool. So when we finally get back, me and my dad, we go out to eat. Him, her, his friend, me, and him. And we're all going out to Subway. And he's just like, I'm sorry, Lena. They're just, I don't know why they're acting that way. All you wanted to do was see a teacher. I was like, Dad, I love you. Like, if that was the only, Dad, I love you. So finally, he drives me back to work. And I'm hype at work. I'm really just super energetic at work. So I was at work and I was just like telling everybody like, oh my God, this is what happened. And they're like, no, are you serious? I was like, yes, it happened. Like, this really happened. And basically, yeah, that was the story. But yeah, I did all that craziness for a Pop-Tart. Like, that was way too much. If I could look back on it, would you do that again? I probably would. Honestly, I probably would do it again just because it was a learning experience. I was scared out of my mind, but it was crazy in itself, and I don't think I would take it back. But yeah, so I never got to see Pop-Tart that day. The lunch I had in my bag that I carried with me around the school like a little terrorist, I kind of just ate after work as my lunch after work type thing. I brought in my book bag. I was just like, I'm just gonna eat for lunch. I can't waste the sandwich. I had mayo on it. I'm just gonna eat it like for lunch. It's cool. So yeah, that was my story of the time I got kicked out of high school that was not even mine. Would I go back? Probably not in like a million years because I mean, that was just crazy. But yeah, if you guys like my story, hit the button, this button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And yeah, if you guys want to hear more story times or just want to hear anything else, or leave in the comments below, have you guys ever experienced or doing something crazy for someone you liked that you think about it now and it's funny, but at that time you were scared? Let me know in the comments. Have you done anything crazy or psychopathy because of someone you liked? So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, bye.